For this video, I'm going to be demonstrating the final project for Comp 3004. So to begin, I'll press play. So initially we get this setup page. If we write the incorrect password 123, hold this button down, we get an error message here that says incorrect. But if we write the correct password 1234, then hold this button down again, it redirects to the main page. Click Options and then System Logs to open up the System Logs page, the tandem button to open up the main page. Now we have both of these. So initially, when the battery hits 25%, we'll get a warning message here, which says that the battery is low. This warning message also shows on the system log down here. Click OK, and then when it hits 10%, we get the same message, and it also shows in the system log again. Click OK once more. And then finally, when this hits 0%, we get the message which prompts the user to recharge the battery to 100%. It also shows in the system log over here. So if we click OK, it charges the batteries back to 100%. Next, I will demonstrate the case of setting the basal rate through the options menu and what happens when the insulin fill gauge hits 0. So first, go here. We can set this to 300 just for the sake of testing. We can click the system logs page. See that both open. And as you can see here, the data generates on the chart, shows on the insulin on board, and the insulin fill gauge accurately decreases. Also, all of the messages pertaining to the insulin on board and the correction factor and the time are all shown on the system log over here. So when the insulin fill gauge hits 0%, or rather 0 units, nothing is able to be clicked on the page. And we get this message which asks the user if they are willing to refill the insulin fill gauge back to 300 units and continue. So if we click OK, uh, it's reset to 300 and everything else is reset to 0. So we get a fresh new page. You click this button to zoom out of the chart. So this shows a 3-hour window. This shows a 6-hour window. And this shows a 1-hour window. You can click options again, go on personal profiles, and we can create 3 different profiles. So for this, we'll just enter some random values. We'll do the same here. Uh, Finally, we'll do the same here. And we can go back here. And to use one of the personal profiles, we'll just write the name here. So, for example, if we write a profile that does not exist, like we'll get the message here. But if we write a profile that does exist, like A, then we get all the information set here. The blood glucose level is displayed properly here, and it relates to whichever the current blue dot is on the chart. You see that the insulin on board accurately updates. So does the insulin fill gauge. And also all the information is logs here. For cases when the predicted blood glucose level is too low, we have the controlled tech IQ, which suspends the insulin delivery. And if we go down further, for cases when the predicted blood glucose level is too high, we have the control IQ tech, which delivers correction boluses to ensure that it never exceeds this line, which is at 10 units, and it never dips below this line, which is at 3.9 units. To use the manual bolus calculator, first, what you'll need to do is click the bolus button on the home page. Then over here, we can set some values. So, for instance, we could set this to 8, this to 5, and let's have it deliver throughout 2 hours. So, slide this down. So, initially it begins So initially we serve 2.48 units immediately, and throughout the remaining 2 hours, we'll serve the remaining 5.52 units. So in total, we will have 8 units um, of insulin on board. So we click confirm, then click tandem to go back here. See that it initially begins at 2.48, which shows here and here. The time shows here too. And we can see that the insulin on board is increasing. And when the timer hits 0, this will be at 8. So the timer has hit 0. This is at 8. As we can see here, the insulin fill gauge is correctly updated. The Control IQ tech works because it is implemented inside the home.cpp class. I wrote the logic inside the update CGM function. And inside here, we see that you can never have a case for hypoglycemia because it always emits an error message to the console log and corrects for it to ensure that the blood level never drops below 3.9. The same case happens for like hyperglycemia. Get an error message here, and we correct for it to ensure that the blood glucose level never travels above 10 units. If we click back here, could demonstrate the personal profiles page more in depth. So for example, if I wanted to create a new profile called B, set some variables here. And for this, we could set it to like 90 by accident. To fix this, we could click this, go back here, change it to 9, click update, then it correctly updates. And also we can delete it too. So for now, we'll just use A. Then we go back here, press A, click this, and we see that everything correctly generates. This concludes the testing video for Comp 3004 final project. Testing video is based off of the UML sequence diagrams that can be found inside the documentation folder. Throughout the video, I tested the scenarios where low battery has occurred, low insulin has occurred, low glucose and high glucose levels have occurred. I've also demonstrated the cases of using different profiles, using and setting up different profiles, uh, setting the basal rate through the options page, and also using the manual bolus calculator. You could find more information here inside the traceability matrix PDF, which demonstrates all the testing I've went through.